Welcome back to Spread Over Homestead on another Mailbag Monday. I'm Nikki, and let's see what today's question is. All right, so today's question is, what can I be feeding my rabbits to improve their flesh condition? So the first thing to know about flesh condition, and basically for people who don't show, because I'm assuming this is probably a show question, flesh condition is where you're going to get good hard muscling, the rabbits aren't too soft, you don't feel a lot of bone. That's generally considered flesh condition, right? The biggest contributor to flesh condition, and a lot of people think you can feed your way into success with rabbits or with any animal, and while some of that is true, genetics is going to be the big thing. So if you're producing rabbits with really poor flesh condition, that's coming out of rabbits that had poor flesh condition, it's a genetic issue. And the only way you're going to fix that is to start over. You can try bringing in better quality animals, but that doesn't always, it takes a while to get that kind of stuff bred out. Now, if you've got animals that are typically in good flesh condition and you've got one that for some reason, say it's a really hyper rabbit, we get this sometimes in our Americans, especially in our juniors and our intermediates, where they're just busy, right? They're running around the cages all the time, they're playing with toys, they're doing whatever, and they're burning more calories than you can get them to take in. Rabbit feed will only do so much. If they're really burning calories, even upping that isn't going to work. When that kind of stuff happens, when you're trying to improve flesh condition, there's a couple things you can do. If you think it's a low protein issue, you can go to a higher protein feed. Most people, as we've talked about in feed videos before, should be feeding about a 16%. Bump it on up to an 18. That's what we do with our juniors and our intermediate Americans when we're having trouble keeping them up to a good weight. Just because they're busybodies, we just go up to a higher protein. If that's not realistic, if you've just got one animal, you can add up to a teaspoon of calf manna every single day at feeding. That'll bump the protein level up. I don't recommend that forever, of course, but it can be a fix. And if they start to do better with it, then you kind of know that what you need is to go up in protein. If it's an issue of they're burning fat at too high of a rate, you can try adding the black oil sunflower seeds. So you kind of have to play with this to figure out exactly what the deal is. If you're having trouble maintaining a lot of weight and stools look really good, I would take any hay that you're feeding away, because I know a lot of people feed hay. Because remember, the hay is dropping our protein and our fat level down. And that's a lot of times, in people that feed a lot of hay, that's usually where their condition problems are coming from, is too much fiber. Remember, when we hit that 25% fiber mark in rabbits, we actually inhibit nutrients absorption. And that makes a huge bit of difference. So, I guess to summarize that, if you're trying to improve flesh condition, look at your genetics first. Try to play with your protein second, fat third, and cut down your fiber if you need to. Remember, you don't want it to come under about 18%. That's kind of our bottom of the thing number for fiber. But certainly if you're up near the top end of that, 23 to 25 to above, that might be your problem. So there you go. There's our question for this week. If you've got other questions, feel free to send them in to me at srhomestead@yahoo.com. Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. You can leave it down below and I'll try to get it written down and onto one of my sheets for a later video. So happy homesteading.